A case of initiator and follower leadership. This is team challenge number 3, presented by Brent Patrick, Jada Pierce, Marquita Tompkins, James Tucker, Alexis Week, and Benjamin Whitmer. Question number 1. Explain how the organizational culture described shapes leadership. As the title of the case suggests, CCC's founders established a culture that heavily focused on engaging with their employees, who in turn heavily respected the founders because of how engaging and supportive they were. This standard trickled down through every level of the organization, encouraging employees at all levels to adopt this mindset that contributed towards socially integrated leadership.
If the company has a staff of people who are always involved in the decision-making process, they are going to feel included and valued. This will make everybody want to contribute more, and instead of employees looking to one or a few leaders for guidance, everybody feels empowered and takes on leadership roles to some degree. Considering the company also hires like-minded people with similar values, a fair amount of power rests in the hands of the people in the company as a whole. This is reflected in who receives managerial positions, as they must uphold this standard of leadership, similar to a true democracy. Another aspect of the organization's culture that shapes leadership relates to the attractiveness of the business concept and how the company was ran. Integrating these things together could make up something that can basically be seen as the company's mission, which is a crucial factor that contributes towards leadership because it provides a framework that drives a company forward.
CCC's organizational ethics contributing to leadership. Some values include showing respect to others. Inclusiveness is an important factor of effective leadership. CCC expressed strong interest in everyone within the company, which is why employees felt valued and part of what was going on, not only in projects, but also in ideas and business development. Also, building a community. Some important values included group cohesion, friendship, have fun in the workplace, openness, and generosity between everyone. CCC's recruitment policy facilitated a good spirit within the company. Also, for subsidiary managers, it was important to create and maintain personal relationships with the consultant. And last, working toward a common good. The founders exercised a strong influence on the ideas, beliefs, and values which characterize the organization.
Explain how the organizational culture described impacts the PLLC functions and all stakeholders in the company. According to the case study, the case of CCC illustrates how organizational culture shapes leadership, thus reversing the opposite logic characterizing the formative years of the firm, where founders had a strong impact on organizational culture. But how exactly does the organizational culture impact the PLLC functions? The organizational culture that is described in the case study is very socially open and gives off a sense of engagement among everyone in the business. In this sense, the ones that are lower of leadership in CCC look up to the leaders and respect them for the respect given among business. In other terms, it sends a charismatic look of business leadership. This impacts the POLC functions by not fully engaging in the technical aspects of operations, but by engaging more in the characteristics of the business.
Some of the negative impacts this culture may have on the organization are that there are only those who have the same beliefs and values will want to work in the organization. Growth and expansion will be difficult with this culture. This type of behavior will lead to a major HR crisis, with the boundaries between supervisors and staff members not being clear, and there is little to no ability to be adaptive within the organization.
CCC management relied heavily on extroverted personalities for leadership. When the founders took smaller roles and moved away from leadership, the new managers were recruited. The company and the culture needed strong extroverted personalities to fill in the place of the old managers. From the employee feedback in the study, the culture of CCC is heavily reliant on strong communication from the leadership. Given that the employees are accustomed to frequent verbal communication to feel like they are part of the team, any dip in this attribute could result in decreased morale. The founders at CCC kept direct contact throughout the organization rather than indirectly by creating socially integrated leadership.